Greetings, my fellow gamers, 'tis I, Wraith King, and welcome back to Seven Nights again. Today we're looking at, the Goo Girl. Okay, let's get this over with. The passive is called Slime Actress. That's an odd profession, but I guess it's also a hint as to what we will see with this character in a moment. But alright, what this does is it increases her debuff resist rate by 100%, and the allies in the back row as well, which basically just means she replaces Spike right on the spot.
But Wraith King, Spike's buffs everybody.
Spike's immunity is a turn buff effect, so it can be removed. Notice her unique effect is not a turn buff. It cannot be removed as long as she is alive, automatically putting characters like Spike to sleep.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really.
I digress. She also has immunity that lasts for 3 turns and an endure effect. What endure basically does is she just is alive with 1 health after taking lethal damage. It isn't much, but for a support character, something like this is definitely needed. But alright, moving on to her first active ability. Man, you know what? These backgrounds are boring. For now on, as I'm talking about it, I think I'm just going to show you the animations. Glad I stopped myself anyway. I was about to skip her Mythic Awakened basic attack. Her unique basic attack deals 150 magic damage to the target. Second effect is it decreases their HP by 20%. Now, we've seen this effect quite a bit recently, ever since Yonhi has been Mythic Awakened, and we have seen how powerful this effect can be. With that in mind, it's probably going to get nerfed because it does quite a bit of damage. And for this to be on a unique basic attack that has a 30% chance of happening every single turn, I can imagine some pretty angry gamers complaining about it. Her first active deals 350% magic damage to 3 enemies and removes buffs to all enemies. So she does the damage to the 3 enemies and she targets everybody and removes all of their current buffs. Every moment I think about this, I actually understand more and more how absurd it can actually get. She can remove undead effects, meaning no more Immortal Aline. Even some Mythic Awakened transformations she can just completely remove. But since the Arena AI has the intelligence of a brick, I don't think that's really going to happen very often.
친구들, 너희 차례야. 모두 흠뻑 빠져버려.
Her second active is called Another Lead Actress. Apologies for the cut edges, I didn't want to spoil her awakening skill. It's actually a pretty interesting one. She deals 90% of her magic damage to all enemies 2 times. She also heals all allies by 120% of her magic damage. At level 50, I can't test it and we probably won't see it. But what it does anyway, is she decreases the enemy's turn buff by 2 turns. I mean, this isn't bad, but it's pretty basic coming from a Goo Girl.
이제 시작이라고요. 두 배로 즐겁게. 짜라란.
And let's talk, finally, about the Mythic Awakening skill. This is probably one of the more unique ones in the game. Definitely really happy about this change because the past few Mythic Awakened skills have been pretty basic. This one is actually unique to her character. Fascinating duo. With the Mythic Awakened gauge cost of 10. That actually makes sense because you want this to happen a little later in the game. She summons a clone of herself in the empty place of an allied hero. So if an ally had died, this is where her clone would go. She deals 20,000 piercing fixed damage to 3 enemies 2 times. At level 46, Luckily, this isn't much of a buff. The 20,000 only goes up to 25. I mean, the enhancement is a little underwhelming, but at least I don't have to worry about testing anything out because it's pretty obvious what it'll do. That, and I'm pretty darn lazy. But as for the Bouncy Goo Girl, she cannot use any of her active skills, only the passive skills. She grants a chain protection effect and grants a damage reflection by 50% of the damage received, and she removes all debuffs to all allies if the caster dies, which is really sad, but it's pretty pretty powerful. If the caster dies with an enemy's chain attack, oh, I don't want to imagine it. Oh, the chain effect does not activate again. Who could have done this? I will swallow the souls of whoever is responsible. Oh, and her Mythic Awaken item does this. Okay, let's take a look at that animation now.
재창기랍니다. 샤라랑. 짜잔. 사랑과 행복을 당신에게.
But alright, let's give her a grade. At the end of the day, she's cute, she's fun, she's everything the devs wanted her to be. I think she's just another one of those fun characters that we're going to like playing every once in a while. But I don't think she's going to see too much competitive play, although her passive is nice, and all of her other abilities are really nice too. I just don't think she's going to be that character that is going to be meta-defining. At the end of the day, though, I don't think she was created to be an overpowered and busted character. So with that in mind, she was created for fun, and that's exactly what she will be used for. So the adorable slime woman gets a B. I have many jokes about this character, but you know what, I'm just going to leave that to the comments. Now let's talk about her playability. Pretty much every support character in gaming history is very fun to play, so people are going to try her out at first. Me, I got her from the raid that was recently released. It's a very easy one, you guys probably just breezed through it before even I did. It's a very easy raid, but yeah, you can just get her out of there. Get her at level 40, you can try her out yourself, and there's going to be plenty of people in the arena trying to use her in different builds. And they're going to have their fun with her, but I'm going to tell you right now, she's probably not going to last long. Her effect is interesting, but I don't think it's powerful enough to really do anything. She's one of those characters that's just fun to play, and we do need characters like this in Seven Knights regardless. There's a lot of characters like this. They're not just support. There are actually some fighters that are really fun to play, but they're just not very good. A good example of this would be one of my personal favorite characters, Aline's brother. I really like him. He's a really cool character. He's fun to play, but he's not that good. He really isn't. Maybe when he's Mythic Awakened he might be a bit better, but he was just never really that good. He was just fun to play. Carl had his moments of being powerful in the meta, but at the end of the day, he just wasn't really all that good. And there were better alternatives to his character, and there are many better alternatives to this newer character. Let's say you're just jumping into the game, and you get this character from the raid, or you get lucky. You're probably not going to beat the raid as soon as you jump into the game, but let's say you get lucky and you get her from the summon. You have the choice of either getting Yonhee from a selector or Mythic Awakening this newer character. Pick Yonhee, for goodness sake. She's busted. Like, in every aspect of this game, Yonhee is busted. Like, she actually beat me in the arena so many times just because her effects are just so dang powerful. The minusing HP thing is just ludicrous. It's absolutely absurd. That being said, it's probably going to get nerfed at some point. The new support character has this effect on one of her Mythic Awaken abilities. It's actually her Mythic Awaken basic attack. and that has a 30% chance of happening every turn, and that's actually pretty darn powerful. But it's nowhere near as ridiculous as Yonhee and her ability. That being said, Yonhee is a magic hero. She's going to do more damage. She's going to be more effective in the arena as far as DPS is concerned, so she's going to hit harder. She's not really a good comparison is what I'm trying to say. But that being said, the new character is a support. Yonhee is an offensive character. Supports don't really do jack diddly squat in the arena these days because healing doesn't really mean anything. Actually, it means nothing. You could heal your team, but their health is just going to go down again in this current meta. It's all about dealing as much damage as you possibly can, and having a support on your team that has an ability that just heals you a little bit might actually slow you down opposed to actually helping you. With that being said, I still do think she is an interesting hero, and I still want to try her out myself. But let's talk about how unique this character actually is. She's pretty darn unique compared to some of the characters we've seen today. Even Yonhee is pretty... Although she's busted, she's not as unique as I would have loved her to be. Her abilities have sleep on them, and that's great and all, but there's nothing really unique to her character like the new hero does. She has a lot of unique abilities that are unique to her, opposed to having some of the same effects the other characters have. Don't get me wrong, the removing buff effect has been done a million times, but the clone thing is actually pretty cool. We've only seen that done with Lee, and Lee is way out of meta. I have never seen a Lee since like 2 years ago. And her effect, though it is similar, it's completely different from Lee's. And I would love to see more abilities like this that are different. So again, I encourage the devs to take their time with their heroes. Don't focus so much on releasing them often, but focus more on making them unique, making them different, introducing new mechanics to the game, because right now, again, the game is getting pretty dang boring. And you guys can hear it from my tone. This brings me to a new subject, actually, going away from the character for a minute here. I am very bored of this game. I have to be honest with you. I've been playing this so long. It's a good game, don't get me wrong. You should pick it up if you haven't played it yet. But me, I have been playing this for a long time. I've been playing this since I graduated from high school. Actually, I believe I've been playing it in high school, if I can remember, because I remember playing it a little during class. So yeah, I actually been playing this for quite some time. So you can imagine me getting just a little bit bored of it. What I'm implying here is that we need 7 Nights too. I say this all the time, but now is definitely the time. For older players like me, we kind of just been there and done that with this game. We've played so many different games like this. 7 Nights may have been one of the first, but there are tons of games that are like it to this day, and they definitely need to slow down just a bit. I'm not saying we need to go away from 7 Nights forever and forget about it, no. I'm saying we just need to move on from it and go to a better game, something that's newer, something that's different from the other games like this out there. I would love to see a AAA 7 Nights game, and I could tell you that's probably not going to happen right now. Maybe sometime in the future we might see it. I would just love to see a Fire Emblem-esque 7 Nights game. That would be so good. Oh, I would love that. That would be great. But yeah, that's all I really had to say about the new character. I think she's really fun to play, but there's just no way she's going to see play long. And she has to last long enough for that 10 cost awakening gauge to actually activate. And you have to have somebody dead, or there has to be an empty space. All this has to happen if you want to get the most out of this Mythic Awaken skill. And that's just too many conditions for it to really see competitive play. But I hope you enjoyed this video, my fellow gamers. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe so you too can be a part of the Dark Kingdom. Till next time, take it easy for me, and please do, have a blessed day. Bye.